Hey, 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 get away. No. Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Griffin Jr. speaking. But you knew all that already. And I wanted to share. This is probably going to be about a 10-minute video. But I wanted to share with everybody something very amazing that happened to me. And the only way I could entitle this is Thomas's Arctic Adventure. Let me just give you a rundown of it. Yesterday, we had as you probably already know if you've been following me on Facebook, we had our first ever snowstorm. Well, my first ever snowstorm ever. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I posted several pictures and everything like that. But what happened was, right before it was time to come to work, I kind of figured we would be not working, and that was actually true. I got a call from my boss telling me, don't even bother coming in. The road's just way too icy for any kind of traffic to be had. Atlanta doesn't get this weather all the time, so they don't invest any kind of money in any kind of like snow plows or anything like that. That's my cup ramen ready, but I'm going to wait on that. But anyways, what happened was I decided to go for a walk. It's about 5 o'clock, or was it like 6 o'clock, something like that. I decided to go for a walk and just kind of check everything out and see how things were looking. And I started to go down one of the little roads here called Skyview Road. It kind of dips down to a bridge over a creek, and then it goes up to one of the roads in there. And boy, was I in for a big surprise when I got down there. The road narrows down to the bridge, and right before you got to the bridge, there were some cars that had slid into guardrails. And then the major problem was coming down the hill in the opposite direction. I saw a Mazda RX-8, oh poor thing, skidded off the road, and he got bumped into several times by cars that just slid all. There were cars sliding all over the place. They were trying to drive when they were told, don't even bother driving, but they say, hey, I got a rear-wheel drive car, I could do it. But that's not really what you need for that kind of weather. You want an all-wheel drive car, and if you can't get an all-wheel drive car, a front-wheel drive car was the way to go as well. But anyways, there were cars sliding all over the place. So traffic was backed up in both directions, mainly coming from the opposite direction, the direction I came from, going up the hill after the bridge. Cars coming that way were just, I saw at least 6 cars pulled off the side of the road that skidded off the road. And that blocked traffic a bit. And compounding the problem more, there was a Crystal water delivery truck that made it at the bottom of the hill and then tried to go up and then stalled in the middle of the road. This made a huge issue because there was a school bus full of kids that had to come through. So I spent the majority of my day from like 5 o'clock to right before midnight. Oh no, right before 11, excuse me. Guiding people, instructing people, trying to calm the situation down. We had like 20 guys that were trying to help people. We had one dude, he was actually from the Ukraine. This guy's been in this kind of weather before. So he was actually jumping in cars for people that were a little bit uneasy or too scared. That was another thing we found. There were several times I had to pop my head into some cars, and there was a woman that was just scared. I had one woman that was like in tears. And I had to just go in there and give her a hug, try to console her, talk to her, told her if she was too scared to drive, to just let somebody else do it. She was in it. There was this one girl, she was in an Audi. That's an all-wheel drive car. That's the ideal car to have in this kind of weather. But she just couldn't do it. But I told her and reassured her, everything will be fine, everything fine. Once we get up to that spot, you can go through it. But the biggest problem we were having is just stupid people that think, why is there this single line going when we got all these other sides? Why don't they butt ahead of everybody and it gets 2 wide and 3 wide, and that blocks traffic going the opposite direction because that road narrows to the bridge. Needless to say, at one point, I started walking down the line, going to each car saying, keep it single file, be courteous, icy roads, traffic's backed up, and we got a big truck dead in the middle of the road. Just have patience, be courteous to others, don't try to butt in line. I walked all the way up the road, turned down Maxim Road, one of the little side roads that heads to Thornton Road. It was completely backed up. There were schools that still had kids at the schools. It was that bad. But they had provisions to hold them over. The roads are getting to the point where they're kind of passable now. But here, let me show you something real quick. Let me see here. You see all that? Here, let me turn it on the ground. You know, and trees got a little bit of it in it, but it's still looking fairly decent out there. Let me back this camera out here. There we go. There, reposition myself. But like I said, a lot of crazy stuff happening. At one point around 11 o'clock, there were people that were just giving up. They pulled their cars off the side of the road. It was just way too backed up to try to do anything. There was cars backed up for miles. Highways were blocked. People were completely unprepared for this. I mean, but I knew ahead of time that don't even bother going on the roads. If you were scheduled to work that day, don't go at all. If you had to go into work at 7 in the morning and work till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, don't go. Because around 11 o'clock, it started snowing. And it didn't stop until like 7 o'clock. Yeah, 11 to 7. Yeah, it was pretty good. If you saw some of the videos I posted. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Then came the other interesting thing that happened. There was a woman in a Mustang who lived in Wesley Creekside Apartments. She was like 55 years old. And she decided to park her car and walk. But she was scared. There was another lady, fairly thin lady. She actually worked at Walmart. Her name was Susie. And she had no place to stay. Just like a whole bunch of other people. They were abandoning their cars and they didn't know where they were going to go. I figured the best I could do is I helped both of them. Helped that one lady get to Wesley Creekside. Her apartment is right down here somewhere. And the other one, she had no place to stay. So I asked her to, my apartment's free. If you need to stay, please do. And that's what ended up happening. She spent the night at my apartment last night. We talked. I got her warm, hot cocoa, whatever it took. And we got up this morning around like 9 o'clock and had some coffee, chit-chatted. I showed her some of my videos. She was very nice and easy to talk to. And just not too long ago, we exchanged phone numbers. And she made her way home. She's trying to go home now. The roads are passable now. So she's going to try to make it to her daughter's home in Douglasville if she thinks it's just too bad. But she wants to make it all the way to Winston where she lives. I don't know where exactly that is. But wow, it was quite a feat. It was quite an interesting day. It's not over yet. It's going to be very cold tonight, so that snow is still going to be here, even though we're done with the snow right now. Amazing. Just simply amazing. Well, there you have it. Thomas's Arctic Adventure. Y'all have yourself a good one. God bless and be safe out there if you're still hanging around. Later.